It was a stormy night when Christina and I had our most heated argument yet. The rain pounded against the window pane so hard it nearly drowned out our angry words. Voices rose and fell in a bitter symphony of accusations and hurtful remarks. In the end, I couldn't take it any longer. I grabbed my duffel bag, threw some clothes in it, and stormed out of our apartment, slamming the door behind me. I needed some space to clear my head, away from the tension that had engulfed our relationship. Blinding rain drummed against the roof of my car as I wandered the streets, looking for a place to stay for the night. Every hotel I approached was fully booked due to some event happening in town this weekend. Cold and exhausted, I stumbled upon an eerie old hotel tucked away in a forgotten street. Its flickering neon light red, the whispering shadows in, and it seemed to beckon me inside. With no other options, I hesitated before entering the dimly lit lobby. The receptionist, a gaunt woman with sunken eyes, oddly observed me before handing me a key with a cryptic smile and whispered, "Room 22, sir. Enjoy your stay." She dangled the key pinched between her bony thumb and forefinger. Room 22 turned out to be a cramped space filled with ancient furniture, some cobwebs in a corner, and a sense of foreboding that sent shivers down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone, even though I was almost certain I was the only guest. That night, sleep was not familiar to me. At the windows, the wind howled like a banshee, and the walls seemed to be alive with movement. Shadows, which seemed like claws, hung over me. My phone rang, and it was Christina calling over and over. I just let it ring. I couldn't get lost in the sadness again. Not tonight. The calls persisted, even from an unknown number, but I chose to silence my phone and try to sleep through the turmoil. The following evening, after work, I was settling into my eerie room when my phone vibrated with a new voicemail notification. I woke up late that morning and forgot to remove my phone from silent mode. And with my workday hectic and demanding, I gave little thought to the fact that Christina hadn't called me all day. But there was no missed call. I was curious, so I listened to the voicemail. All I heard was distant and inconsolable sobbing, which sounded like Christina, yet I wasn't sure. The sound was almost chilling, sending shivers down my spine. She didn't say a word, just sobbed until the message abruptly ended. I couldn't understand what was happening. I never heard Christina cry like that before. As the digital clock struck 1 a.m., I was awakened by the sound of a baby crying. It was coming from below me, but I was on the first floor, and there should have been no one beneath me. The cries grew louder and more desperate, echoing through the room and down the hotel's hallways. I thought, what if there was a basement beneath me, and the baby was abandoned and needed my help? The sound was so desperate and painful that I had to find out where it was coming from. Terrified, I crept out of bed and followed the cries down the long hallway. I went down an old, narrow, and creepy staircase into a darkness that seemed to eat up the light. The stairs led me to the hotel's basement. As I sank down into the oppressive darkness, the infant's cries began to fade behind me. My heart pounded in my chest as I approached, my eyes adjusting to the dimly lit scene before me. There was nothing there, just an empty, dusty basement. I chose not to go down any further into the ominous surroundings. Back in my room, I tried to dismiss the bizarre incident as a product of my stress. I climbed back into bed, but as I lay there, my arm dangling near the headboard, something grabbed my fingers. It was soft, like a baby's hand. Panic surged through me and I jumped out of bed, frantically searching underneath it, empty and dusty. I slept in a chair that night, keeping a close eye on the dark unknown under the bed. The following morning, I decided I had enough of the Whispering Shadows Inn. The events of the past few nights had taken a toll on my sanity, and I couldn't bear it any longer. As I was paying for my gas at the local filling station, I ran into Christina's friend, Sarah. Sarah looked visibly upset when she saw me, her eyes saddened and desperate as she approached me. She explained how she was trying to reach me but blocked her number so Christina wouldn't know she had called. I grabbed her gently by the shoulders and calmly demanded to know what was the matter. With a heavy sigh, Sarah said, "Christina's pregnant, Mark. After you guys argued and you were not answering your calls, she set up an appointment at the clinic to have an abortion today. It's at 1 o'clock. My heart sank. The news hit me like a freight train, and I suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of guilt for the way I had left Christina. I had no idea. It had all made sense now. I left Sarah abruptly, calling Christina immediately after I exited the store. No answer. I sped off in pursuit of my troubled girlfriend in a daze, my mind swirling with confusion and guilt. As I drove away, passing by the Whispering Shadows Inn, I couldn't help but wonder if the eerie events at the hotel were somehow connected to Christina's pregnancy. Was the hotel trying to tell me something? Or were the phantom cries of my unborn child reaching out to me for help? It haunted me, leaving me with the chilling sense that I had left behind more than just a creepy hotel. We hope you enjoyed the story. Stay safe and remember, the scariest stories are the ones we live through. Until next time.